They told you freedom meant doing whatever you wanted. Sleep in when you're tired. Quit when it's hard. Take it easy. Stay comfortable. Chase balance. But they were dead wrong. That kind of freedom, it's a trap. The truth is simple. The real ones, the ones who own their lives, their minds, and their futures, they found something different. They found out that discipline is freedom, not the fake kind of freedom that fades when pressure hits, but the kind that makes you dangerous. Discipline is the decision to show up when no one's watching, to train when you're tired, to work when you're hurting, to keep moving when comfort begs you to stop. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't ask for motivation. It shows up every single day because it made a promise to the future. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. If you don't control yourself, someone else will. If you don't build your mind, life will break it. If you don't suffer on purpose, you'll suffer by default. This book is not here to inspire you. It's here to change you. This is war with weakness. War with the voice that says, it's okay to skip today. War with the part of you that wants easy, soft, and safe. If you're still listening, good. That means part of you is ready. Not for motivation, not for hype, but for truth. And truth says this: you don't need more time. You don't need more talent. You need discipline. And once you lock that in, you'll unlock a kind of freedom no one can take away. Let's get to work. Subscribe to never miss books like this one. Chapter 1. The truth about freedom. We've all been sold the idea that freedom means doing whatever we want. The society we live in tells us that freedom is about having the ability to relax, take a break, and escape the grind whenever we feel like it. Sounds nice, right? But what if I told you that the real truth about freedom is a lot harder to swallow? What if the true path to freedom isn't about escaping the grind at all, but about embracing it? What if freedom is about controlling your actions and choices, even when you don't feel like it? The freedom of comfort versus the power of discipline. We live in a world where the word freedom is often equated with comfort. We've been led to believe that if we're comfortable, we're free. But comfort is an illusion. It's an illusion that tells you it's okay to take the easy way out, to skip the hard work, and to let others dictate your time. We've been tricked into thinking that this is the freedom we've all been searching for. But when you give in to comfort, what you're really giving up is control. You see, true freedom isn't about running from hard work. It's about embracing it, because in that hard work, you gain control over your life. When you choose discipline over comfort, you don't just survive, you thrive. The people who truly achieve greatness are the ones who understand that discipline is the gateway to freedom. They don't fall into the trap of thinking they'll be happy just by taking the path of least resistance. They know that discipline, while uncomfortable in the moment, is what creates a future where they control their own destiny. They've traded short-term pleasure for long-term results. And that's what real freedom looks like. The cost of freedom. Freedom doesn't come for free. There is a price to be paid, and the price is discipline. You can't just wake up one day and expect to live a life of freedom if you haven't earned it. You can't expect to be free if you don't have the discipline to wake up on time, to show up consistently, and to put in the work when no one is watching. When you embrace discipline, you are choosing to control your life. You're choosing to take ownership of your time, your actions, and your future. And when you control those things, you unlock the kind of freedom that most people only dream of. But it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. The freedom that comes from discipline requires sacrifice. It means saying no to distractions, to comfort, and to things that might feel good in the moment, but will hold you back in the long run. It's about doing what's hard now to create a life that's everything you've ever wanted. The trap of instant gratification in today's world. We've been conditioned to seek instant gratification. We want what we want, and we want it now. We've been told that we deserve to be happy right now all the time. But the reality is, chasing instant gratification is a fast track to a life of mediocrity. You might get the temporary pleasure of doing whatever feels good in the moment, but that kind of freedom doesn't lead to anything lasting. If you're living for that next quick fix, that next hit of pleasure, you're not really free. You're in bondage to your impulses. Your freedom is dictated by your emotions, your desires, and the whims of the moment. But real freedom comes from the power to say no to the short term and yes to the long term. It comes from choosing the difficult path, the path of sacrifice, and the path that leads to control over your future. The reality of true freedom. Let's break it down. True freedom is not about the ability to do whatever you want when you feel like it. Real freedom is about creating a life where you can do what you want, when you want, because you've already built the foundation for it. True freedom is the freedom to live life on your terms, free from the limitations of self-doubt, fear, and weakness. It's about waking up in the morning, knowing exactly what you need to do, and having the discipline to do it without hesitation. It's about controlling your own time, energy, and focus. It's about living in alignment with your purpose and not letting anyone or anything derail you from that path. The first step toward real freedom, the first step toward achieving true freedom, is realizing that it starts with you. You're the one who holds the key to your freedom. The more discipline you create in your life, the more control you have over your future. And the more control you have, the more freedom you will unlock. So, here's the challenge for you. Start taking control today. Start by choosing one area in your life where you've been living in comfort, where you've been avoiding the hard work. Maybe it's waking up earlier, cutting out distractions, or pushing yourself physically when you want to quit. Commit to doing it consistently. Commit to showing up when you don't feel like it. And, most importantly, commit to owning your future. Call to action now. I want you to take a moment and think about what freedom really means to you. Is it the freedom to do whatever you want in the moment, or is it the freedom to live life on your own terms because you've earned it? The path to true freedom starts with discipline, and the first step starts right now. What's one area of your life where you've been avoiding discipline? What's one habit you've been putting off because it's uncomfortable? Make the decision today that you will take control of that area of your life, because when you do, you'll start unlocking the freedom you've always dreamed of. Chapter 2. The Price of Discipline. If you've ever heard the phrase, "Nothing worth having comes easy," then you're already familiar with the price of discipline. The truth is, everything in life that holds lasting value requires a sacrifice. It's easy to dream about success, to fantasize about the rewards of freedom. But most people overlook the cost of getting there. In this chapter, we're going to explore the price that discipline demands, and why paying that price is the most important investment you can make for your future. The price you pay for success. Imagine you're standing at the gates of your dream life. Wealth, health, fulfillment, peace of mind. And someone tells you that the only way in is through a toll booth. The toll, it's discipline. It's the countless hours of hard work. It's the moments when you push through exhaustion, self-doubt, and temptation. It's the days when you choose to show up even when your mind is screaming at you to take a break. Success doesn't just fall into your lap. The toll is paid in sacrifice, in delayed gratification, and in saying no to the things that feel good in the moment, but don't serve your long-term goals. It means pushing through when every fiber of your being wants to take the easy way out. But that's exactly what makes discipline so powerful. The harder the price, the greater the reward. Comfort versus achievement. Every time you decide to indulge in comfort, sleeping in, procrastinating, avoiding the tough stuff, you're sacrificing your future for the temporary relief of today. Sure, those moments of comfort feel good at the time, but they're like a sugar rush, short-lived and ultimately unsatisfying. The real cost of comfort is that it robs you of your growth. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, never allowing you to unlock your full potential. Discipline, on the other hand, takes you through the grind. It asks you to make tough choices. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone and stay committed, even when it feels inconvenient. This is where the true value lies. You see, discipline isn't just about doing what's hard. It's about doing what others won't do, so you can live a life that others can't. The trade-off is simple. Comfort now, for the freedom to live life on your terms later. The long road to mastery. Look at any successful person. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or anyone who's achieved greatness, and you'll see a pattern. They all paid the price of discipline. They spent years perfecting their craft, enduring the frustration of slow progress, and sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term results. They didn't get lucky. They earned their success, one disciplined decision at a time. When we talk about the price of discipline, it's not just about saying no to distractions. It's about saying yes to something greater. It's saying yes to the long road of mastery, to continuous improvement, and to sticking with your goals even when the path gets tough. What discipline costs you? Let's break down exactly what discipline demands from you. Time. Discipline takes time. The more you dedicate to your goals, the more success you'll see. This means making hard choices, like waking up earlier, cutting down on social media, and prioritizing your tasks. But time isn't just about clocking in hours. It's about investing your time in things that matter most. Energy. Discipline drains your energy, especially in the beginning. When you push yourself to improve, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally, you'll feel exhausted. This is part of the process. Discipline isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about finding strength in your exhaustion and continuing to push forward. Comfort. To achieve greatness, you'll have to step outside of your comfort zone. Whether it's pushing through physical pain, making sacrifices socially, or facing your fears head-on, discipline asks you to embrace discomfort. The greater the discomfort, the greater the reward. Self-doubt. There will be days when you doubt yourself. Discipline asks you to show up even when you're not feeling confident or motivated. It challenges you to push through the internal resistance and keep moving forward, even when your mind tells you to quit. Social pleasures. When you choose discipline, you're often choosing to say no to social events, late nights out, or distractions that don't align with your goals. You'll have to give up things that seem fun or easy for a while, but they'll never compare to the rewards of discipline. Why you should pay the price, you might be wondering. Is it really worth it? What's the payoff? The truth is, the price of discipline is nothing compared to the reward. Sure, it's tough, it's uncomfortable, and it demands sacrifices, but the rewards of discipline are priceless. Discipline will bring you more than just success. It will bring you freedom. You'll be free from the chains of procrastination, fear, and excuses. This is why discipline is so crucial. It doesn't just help you achieve goals. It gives you the tools to live a life that's fully aligned with your purpose. The payoff isn't just success. It's the freedom to live life on your own terms, with no one telling you what you can and can't do. The paradox of freedom, here's the paradox. The price of discipline may seem steep in the short term, but it's actually the key to long-term freedom. If you want to live life on your own terms, you have to be willing to do what others aren't. You need to build habits that empower you to make decisions based on your values, not your impulses. The reward is worth it now. Imagine the kind of life you could lead if you paid the price of discipline every single day. Imagine the level of control you would have over your time, your energy, and your results. Imagine looking back years from now and seeing the fruits of your labor, not just in the material things you've accumulated, but in the way you carry yourself, the way you approach challenges, and the way others look to you for inspiration. The truth is, discipline is the foundation of the life you've always wanted. It's the silent force that will carry you through the toughest times. And it's the key to unlocking the future you deserve. Call to action, so where can you start paying the price of discipline today? What is one area of your life where you've been avoiding the hard work, the sacrifice, or the discomfort? What can you commit to today that will help you take control of your future? Remember, the price may seem high, but the reward is worth more than you can imagine. It's time to stop avoiding the work, stop running from the discomfort, and start embracing the price of discipline. Because in the end, that price is nothing compared to the freedom it will give you. Chapter 3. The Discipline of Consistency. There's a secret that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who fall short. Consistency. It's easy to start strong, full of excitement and energy. But what happens when the novelty wears off? What happens when the grind becomes routine and the spark of motivation begins to fade? That's when true discipline is tested. And the key to mastering it is consistency. In this chapter, we will dive into why consistency is so powerful, how it builds momentum, and why it's the one thing that can transform your life, even when you don't feel like it. The power of small actions over time. The idea of consistency sounds simple, right? But there's a reason why so few people truly understand its power. It's not about doing something huge once in a while. It's about taking small, deliberate actions every single day. These small actions, compounded over time, create massive results. Think of consistency like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, almost insignificant. But with every rotation, it gains more mass and momentum. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it's a force to be reckoned with. This principle applies to every area of your life, whether it's your fitness, your career, or your personal growth. Consistency is the one thing that can turn small actions into big achievements. It's the small habit of showing up every day, even when you don't see immediate results, that will eventually create the kind of transformation you're looking for. The myth of overnight success. Let's get one thing clear. Overnight success is a myth. We live in a world where we constantly see stories of people who seem to achieve everything they've ever wanted in an instant. Athletes who make it to the pros at 18. Entrepreneurs who become billionaires by 30. But what we don't see is the years of work, sacrifice, and consistency that got them to that point. We only see the highlight reel. The truth is, no one gets lucky. Those who appear to be an overnight success have put in hours, months, and years of consistent effort that went largely unnoticed by the public. They failed, struggled, and worked tirelessly behind the scenes. You're not going to get anywhere by relying on bursts of motivation or waiting for the perfect moment to act. Success isn't a single event. It's a continuous journey. And that journey is powered by one thing: consistent action. Building the habit of consistency isn't a natural trait for most people. In fact, it's something you have to work at. But here's the good news. Once you build a habit of consistency, it becomes easier to maintain. It starts with creating small, simple routines that align with your goals. These routines should be manageable, not overwhelming. And the key is to start small. For example, if your goal is to get fitter, don't try to run 5 miles a day from the start. Instead, aim for a 10-minute walk or a short bodyweight workout. The key is to commit to doing something every day, no matter how small it seems. Over time, that consistency will build and allow you to push yourself further. It's also essential to make your goals as specific as possible. The more precise your action plan, the easier it is to stay consistent. I'm going to work out every day. Sounds good, but I'm going to do 15 minutes of stretching at 7 a.m. is something you can actually commit to. When you start small and stay specific, it's much easier to build consistency over time. The importance of showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Here's the hardest truth about consistency. You're not going to feel motivated every day. Some days, you'll wake up tired, uninspired, or distracted. But this is where discipline kicks in. Discipline is about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work, even when your mind and body are screaming at you to quit. The key to consistency is making the decision that you will do something, regardless of how you feel. It's not about waiting for the perfect mood or perfect conditions. It's about committing to your goals and taking action, no matter what. When you build the discipline to push through these moments, you'll realize that consistency isn't dependent on how you feel. It's dependent on your ability to stay focused and committed to your goals. The compound effect of consistency, the real magic of consistency, comes from the compound effect. The small actions you take every day don't just add up. They multiply. When you do something consistently, you begin to see exponential growth over time. Think of it as investing in yourself. Every time you show up, you're depositing another bit of progress into your future. But it's easy to forget this, especially when the results aren't immediate. In the short term, you might not notice a huge difference. But if you stick with it, you'll look back months or years later and realize that your consistent actions have created monumental change. This principle is particularly powerful because it removes the pressure of needing instant results. Instead of feeling discouraged by slow progress, you learn to appreciate the small wins. and trust the process. Embracing the process, not just the end goal. The problem with focusing only on the end goal is that it can make the journey feel like a never-ending slog. If all you're focused on is the result, you might miss the lessons and growth that come with the process. True discipline is about embracing the grind. It's about enjoying the daily work, even if it's difficult, because you know it's leading you somewhere. The small victories you achieve along the way, whether it's sticking to your routine for a week or learning a new skill, are what make the journey worthwhile. Instead of obsessing over how far you have left to go, focus on how far you've already come. Consistency is about taking it one day at a time and appreciating the progress you're making, even if it's incremental. The key to long-term success, if you want to build anything of value, whether it's a successful career, a healthy body, or strong relationships, consistency is the foundation. It's the glue that holds everything together. Without consistency, all the talent and ambition in the world won't get you very far. But when you commit to showing up every single day, putting in the work, and taking small, focused actions, you'll build momentum. And that momentum will carry you farther than you ever thought possible. Call to action. So, where can you apply consistency in your own life? What small action can you commit to doing every day, no matter how you feel? Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about showing up every day, no matter what. Take a moment and think about where you can start. Set a small, actionable goal and stick to it. Consistency isn't about making giant leaps. It's about taking the next small step. Chapter 4. The Discipline of Sacrifice. When you think of discipline, what comes to mind? Most people associate it with hard work, focus, and persistence. But there is one aspect of discipline that is often overlooked: sacrifice. Achieving greatness in any area of life requires you to give up certain comforts, pleasures, and habits that might hold you back. And that's where discipline gets real. In this chapter, we're going to dive into the discipline of sacrifice, the uncomfortable truth that in order to get what you want, you must first be willing to give up what you already have. But the rewards of sacrifice far outweigh the costs. And this is the key to unlocking the next level of success. The reality of sacrifice. Sacrifice isn't easy. No one likes to give up something, especially when it feels like it brings them comfort or joy. Whether it's time, money, energy, or even relationships, sacrifice requires a willingness to let go of things that are holding you back. But here's the thing. Every successful person has had to make sacrifices in order to reach their goals. If you want to build a great body, you have to sacrifice junk food for healthy meals. If you want to grow your business, you may have to sacrifice time spent with friends or on leisure activities. If you want to be great at something, you have to give up the distractions that stand in the way of your focus. Sacrifice is not just about giving something up for the sake of it. It's about giving up the things that won't help you get where you want to go, so you can make room for the things that will. It's about prioritizing your long-term goals over the temporary pleasures of today. The uncomfortable truth about sacrifice is that it requires you to be honest with yourself. What are you holding on to right now that's preventing you from achieving your full potential? What habits, comforts, or distractions are you unwilling to give up? Most people want to succeed, but they don't want to give up the things that stand in their way. They want the results, but don't want to do the hard work it takes to get them. This is where discipline comes into play. You must be willing to sacrifice what's holding you back and commit to the things that will propel you forward. Sacrifice doesn't mean giving up everything you enjoy. It means prioritizing what's most important and saying no to the things that don't align with your goals. It's about choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. The cost of comfort the world we live in is designed to make us comfortable. From instant access to entertainment to quick meals and easy solutions, comfort is everywhere. But the price of comfort is high. Right. The price of mediocrity. When you choose comfort over discipline, you're choosing to stay in the same place. You're choosing to avoid growth and transformation because growth requires discomfort. Growth requires you to step outside your comfort zone, to push yourself, and to make sacrifices along the way. Comfort keeps you in your current state. It keeps you from leveling up, from becoming the person you need to be in order to achieve your dreams. The discipline of saying no, one of the hardest things you'll encounter on your journey toward success, is learning how to say no. Saying no to the things that don't serve you is a powerful tool. Whether it's declining a night out when you know you should be working, turning down a temptation to skip a workout, or avoiding toxic relationships that drain your energy, saying no is an essential part of discipline. Saying no is not about being selfish. It's about protecting your time, energy, and focus. It's about being intentional with how you spend your resources. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your goals, you're saying yes to your future. What sacrifice really looks like. Sacrifice doesn't always mean giving up things forever. Sometimes it means giving them up temporarily so you can focus on what matters most. It's about understanding that the things you give up today will make room for the things you want tomorrow. It's about delaying gratification in the short term for the payoff of success in the long term. For example, sacrificing late-night TV binges in favor of working on your skills. Or studying for a goal might feel tough in the moment. But when you see the results of your hard work in the future, you'll realize that the sacrifice was worth it. The most successful people are the ones who understand this concept. They aren't afraid to make tough decisions. They know that every no to a distraction is a yes to something greater. Sacrifice is a conscious choice to create the life you truly want. The role of discipline in managing sacrifice discipline is what allows you to manage the sacrifices you make. It's not about sacrificing everything at once. It's about making the right sacrifices, one step at a time. When you're disciplined, you can make deliberate choices about what you need to give up to get where you want to go. It's about developing the ability to recognize distractions and avoid them, knowing that each small sacrifice adds up to something much bigger in the long run. The key is to create a routine of discipline that supports the sacrifices you need to make. Once you have a clear vision of your goals and understand the sacrifices required, discipline helps you stay focused and committed to your path. It gives you the strength to say no, even when the temptation to quit is strong. The reward of sacrifice. Every sacrifice you make brings you one step closer to your ultimate goal. The sacrifices may feel painful now, but when you look back, you'll see that they were the stepping stones to your success. It's easy to get caught up in the discomfort of sacrifice, but the reward on the other side is always worth it. Whether it's the pride you feel from accomplishing something difficult, the freedom that comes with achieving your goals, or the satisfaction of knowing you've earned your success, the rewards of sacrifice are priceless. The discipline of sacrifice teaches you that you're capable of more than you think. It shows you that you have the strength to push through discomfort and create the life you desire. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the reward. Call to action. Take a moment to reflect on what you might need to sacrifice in order to move closer to your goals. What habits, distractions, or comforts have you been holding on to that are keeping you from reaching your full potential? Now, consider how you can begin to let go of those things, even if it's just one small step at a time. Remember, the path to greatness isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about embracing it. What can you sacrifice today to build a better tomorrow? Chapter 5. The discipline of focus. We live in a world filled with distractions. Every day, our attention is pulled in a million different directions. Notifications, social media, work demands, family obligations, and endless entertainment options. Focus seems harder and harder to maintain, and yet it's one of the most essential elements in achieving success. In this chapter, we'll uncover the discipline of focus, the power of dedicating your attention to what truly matters and shutting out the noise that stands in the way of your goals. If you can master focus, you can achieve anything. But focus requires discipline, and that's what we'll explore here. The power of focus is more than just concentrating on one task. It's about eliminating everything that doesn't serve your goal. Think about it. When you're fully focused on something, you enter a state of flow. Time disappears and you're operating at your best. Every action you take is purposeful and aligned with your vision. This state of deep concentration doesn't come by accident. It requires intentional effort, and in a world filled with distractions, it's becoming a rare and precious skill. But the payoff is enormous. Focus allows you to be productive, creative, and efficient. It turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. When you're focused, you're in control. You decide where your energy goes, and that gives you a powerful advantage in reaching your goals. If you can learn to focus for extended periods, you'll accomplish far more than most people who are constantly scattered and distracted. The myth of multitasking. We've all been told that multitasking is a valuable skill, but the truth is, multitasking isn't helping you. It's hurting your productivity. Studies have shown that our brains aren't built to handle multiple tasks at once. When you try to juggle several things, you end up dividing your focus and reducing the quality of each task. Instead of getting more done, multitasking leads to inefficiency and mistakes. You may feel like you're accomplishing a lot, but in reality, you're spreading yourself thin and diminishing the impact of your efforts. The key to success is single tasking. By focusing on one thing at a time, you can give it your full attention and produce much better results. Multitasking may seem like a time saver, but in the long run, it's a major productivity killer. The discipline of setting boundaries to master focus. You need to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your time and attention. If you don't set clear limits, your time will be consumed by distractions and other people's demands. This is where discipline comes in. Being able to say no to things that don't align with your goals, and setting limits on activities that drain your focus. For example, if you're working on a project, set a boundary by turning off your phone, avoiding social media, and letting others know you're unavailable. If you don't create these boundaries, you'll constantly find yourself being interrupted and pulled away from your work. The more boundaries you set, the easier it becomes to stay focused on what matters. Boundaries also protect your energy. When you allow yourself to be constantly distracted or overwhelmed by others' needs, you're giving away your most precious resource, your focus. Learn to say no, set limits, and create a space where you can dedicate your full attention to your goals. The importance of a clear vision, one of the reasons people struggle with focus is that they lack a clear vision. But when you have a clear, compelling vision of your goal, focus becomes natural. The clearer your vision, the more laser-focused your actions become. You can prioritize your tasks and eliminate distractions that don't support your vision. When you know exactly what you want, it's easier to stay on track. Focus is a direct result of having a clear purpose. If you don't have a clear vision, take some time to define what you really want. What's your ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve in the next year, 5 years, or even 10? Once you know your purpose, focus becomes your most powerful tool in getting there. The role of environment in focus. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to focus. If you're surrounded by clutter, noise, or distractions, it's going to be much harder to concentrate on your work. To master focus, you need to create an environment that supports your goals. This means setting up a workspace that minimizes distractions, eliminating unnecessary items that clutter your mind, and surrounding yourself with things that inspire and motivate you. It also means creating a routine that fosters concentration, whether it's setting aside time for uninterrupted work or building in breaks to recharge. The more you curate your environment to enhance focus, the easier it will be to stay on task. Your environment is a reflection of your discipline. If you value focus, you'll create an environment that helps you achieve it. The importance of self-discipline in maintaining focus requires more than just a clear vision and an organized space. It requires self-discipline. In moments of temptation or fatigue, you'll need to draw on your inner strength to stay focused. This is where the discipline of focus really comes into play. You'll face moments when distractions seem more appealing. You might feel the urge to check your phone, scroll through social media, or procrastinate. But discipline is about making the conscious choice to stay focused on the task at hand, even when other things are calling your attention. Building self-discipline around focus is about creating habits that support your ability to concentrate. For example, you might decide to work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. This method, known as the Pomodoro technique, is a great way to build focus and maintain energy. The key is to stay disciplined, even when you'd rather do something else. The power of saying no. One of the most powerful ways to maintain focus is by learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your goals, you're taking time and energy away from something that does. Focus requires that you guard your time fiercely and don't allow others to steal your attention. Saying no can be difficult, especially when it involves people or opportunities that seem appealing. But remember, every yes you give away is a sacrifice. When you say no, you're actually saying yes to your goals. And that's the key to maintaining focus. The reward of focus may seem like a skill that only the most disciplined people can achieve. But the truth is, anyone can master it with the right mindset and practices. The reward for staying focused is immense. When you consistently direct your attention toward your goals, you'll make incredible progress, faster than you thought possible. The most successful people are not necessarily the most talented. They're often the ones who are able to focus on their priorities and shut out distractions. Focus is the cornerstone of productivity, and it's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. By mastering the discipline of focus, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Focus isn't a gift you're born with. It's a skill you can cultivate. And once you do, it will be your superpower. Call to action now. Think about where you're losing focus in your life. What are the distractions that constantly pull your attention away from your goals? What boundaries do you need to set to protect your focus? Take a moment to reflect on how you can sharpen your ability to concentrate and create an environment that supports your success. Remember, focus is a skill that grows with practice. The more you focus on what matters, the more you'll accomplish. Chapter 6. The discipline of consistency. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in the pursuit of success. Whether you're training for a marathon, building a business, or working on personal growth, one thing is clear. Nothing great is achieved without consistent effort. In fact, consistency is the secret ingredient that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. In this chapter, we'll dive into the discipline of consistency, the ability to show up day after day, no matter how small the progress seems. It's the key to building momentum, overcoming obstacles, and ultimately reaching your goals. But consistency is a muscle you must train, and it takes more than just a good attitude. It takes discipline. The power of small, consistent action success doesn't happen in one grand moment of inspiration or a massive overnight change. It happens when you commit to taking small, deliberate steps every single day. These seemingly insignificant actions compound over time, and their results add up in ways you could never have imagined. Think about the growth of a plant. It doesn't grow overnight, but through consistent watering, sunlight, and care. Similarly, your goals won't come to fruition if you only put in effort sporadically. You have to show up every day, doing the small things that, over time, lead to massive results. A great example of this is physical fitness. Working out one day won't transform your body. It's the cumulative effect of consistent workouts over weeks, months, and years that produces visible, lasting change. The same principle applies to every area of life. Why consistency beats motivation? Motivation is powerful. It's that burst of energy that drives you to take action and make big changes. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, often when you need it the most. Consistency, on the other hand, is dependable. It doesn't rely on motivation or feelings. Instead, it's rooted in discipline, the commitment to showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Think of consistency as the backbone of your success. While motivation might get you started, consistency keeps you going. When you commit to a routine and stick to it, you'll build momentum. That momentum carries you through the tough days when motivation has disappeared, and it propels you forward when obstacles arise. The myth of overnight success in today's world. We are constantly bombarded with stories of people who achieved rapid success. Whether it's a business mogul, a celebrity, or an athlete, it often seems like people rise to the top almost overnight. The reality, however, is that success rarely happens this quickly. What we don't see are the years of hard work, failures, and setbacks that preceded those breakthrough moments. Overnight success is a myth. The true path to greatness is paved with consistent effort, often behind the scenes. For every viral video or business that exploded into the spotlight, there were years of consistent work and persistence leading up to that moment. Consistency allows you to keep moving forward even when it feels like no one is noticing. It's about trusting the process and knowing that every action you take, brings you one step closer to your goal. The discipline of showing up, one of the hardest parts of consistency, is simply showing up. There are days when you won't feel like doing the work. There will be distractions, setbacks, and obstacles that try to pull you off course. But the true measure of discipline is your ability to show up, even when it's difficult. The more you show up, the more you build a habit of consistency. It doesn't matter if your actions today don't seem like they're making a huge impact. What matters is that you're doing the work day after day. Even if the progress seems slow, the key is that you're moving forward. Over time, this routine becomes ingrained in your life. Showing up becomes second nature. And before you know it, the small efforts have compounded into real tangible success, breaking down big goals into smaller manageable tasks. A big goal can feel overwhelming. The thought of completing a massive project, training for a marathon, or building a business can leave you paralyzed. But the key to maintaining consistency is breaking down these large goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This makes the journey less daunting and more achievable. By focusing on one small step at a time, you can steadily make progress without feeling overwhelmed. Instead of thinking about the finish line, think about the next task, the next milestone. These incremental steps will keep you focused and allow you to make consistent progress, even when the goal seems far away. Take a business, for example. The thought of building a successful company might seem impossible, but by consistently focusing on things like customer service, marketing, and product development every day, the business will grow. The key is focusing on the process, not the outcome, and allowing the consistency to lead you to the finish line. Overcoming the resistance to consistency resistance is a natural part of the process. Whether it's fatigue, self-doubt, or distractions, resistance will try to keep you from staying consistent. The key is recognizing resistance for what it is and not allowing it to derail your efforts. When you feel resistance, that's when your discipline must kick in. It's a reminder that you need to keep pushing forward. It's easy to give up when things get tough, but consistency requires you to push through these moments. When you do, you'll realize that the resistance isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace, because it means you're growing and getting stronger. In moments of resistance, remind yourself why you started. Revisit your goals and reconnect with your vision. This will help you push through the temporary discomfort and stay consistent even when the road gets tough. The power of accountability is one of the best tools for staying consistent. When you have someone to hold you accountable, you're more likely to show up and do the work, even on the days when motivation is low. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a group, having someone to check in with keeps you on track and encourages you to keep going. If you don't have an accountability partner, consider finding one. Sharing your goals with someone else and checking in regularly can keep you motivated and focused. Additionally, you can hold yourself accountable by setting clear, measurable goals and tracking your progress. The more you track, the more motivated you'll be to stay consistent. The reward for consistency is immense. The small daily actions you take accumulate over time, and eventually you'll look back and see just how far you've come. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is what carries you through the tough times. It's important to celebrate the small victories along the way, even if they seem insignificant at first. Each step forward, is progress. Eventually, these small steps add up to something big, and the results of your consistent effort will speak for themselves. The biggest reward of all is the confidence and sense of accomplishment that comes from knowing you've done the work. Consistency allows you to transform your dreams into reality, one small action at a time. Call to action: reflect on your own journey. Where do you need to improve your consistency? What areas of your life are you neglecting because you've fallen off track? Commit to taking one small, consistent action today. Whether it's reading a few pages of a book, sending an email, or working on your craft for just a few minutes, make consistency your daily practice. When you look back, you'll see that your success wasn't built on one big breakthrough. It was built on the small actions you took every single day. Chapter 7. The discipline of patience. In our fast-paced world, we often crave instant results. From fast food to quick fixes, it seems like we're always looking for shortcuts. But when it comes to building something meaningful, whether it's personal growth, success, or mastery in a skill, there is no shortcut. The true path to success is a journey that requires patience. In this chapter, we'll explore the discipline of patience, the ability to stay committed to the process and trust that results will come in due time. It's about embracing the idea that great things take time and that the rewards of persistence are always worth the wait. The power of delayed gratification. One of the foundational principles of patience is delayed gratification, the ability to put off immediate rewards for a greater long-term gain. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, this discipline is more important than ever. Delayed gratification requires you to stay focused on your bigger goals and resist the temptation of quick rewards that may steer you off course. It's about choosing to invest in your future rather than indulging in fleeting pleasures that offer little in terms of long-term fulfillment. A simple example of this can be found in the world of fitness. If you're looking to build strength or lose weight, you won't see dramatic changes in a week or even a month. The true results come from the discipline of patience means you stay committed to the process, even when the progress seems slow. Why patience is a strength. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about maintaining a strong belief that your efforts will eventually pay off, even if you don't see immediate results. Patience is often viewed as a passive trait, but in reality it's one of the greatest forms of strength. When you cultivate patience, you develop resilience. You learn to weather challenges, accept setbacks, and keep moving forward without losing hope. Patience teaches you that setbacks are not failures, but stepping stones to success. It allows you to stay the course and trust that things will unfold as they're meant to, even if it takes longer than expected. Think of some of the greatest achievements in history. Whether it's building a business, writing a book, or mastering a craft, the individuals who achieved these feats demonstrated incredible patience. They didn't rush the process or expect things to happen overnight. Instead, they put in the work, day after day, trusting that the results would come. The dangers of impatience often leads to frustration and poor decision-making. When we want things too quickly, we may be tempted to take shortcuts or make compromises that undermine our long-term success. Impatience clouds our judgment and pushes us to act before we're truly ready. In the pursuit of success, impatience can cause us to jump from one opportunity to the next, without fully committing to any one thing. We might abandon our efforts when we don't see immediate results, which leads to unfinished projects and unfulfilled goals. Impatience also leads to burnout. Trying to rush the process can exhaust your energy and enthusiasm, leaving you feeling defeated. But when you embrace patience, you avoid the stress and frustration that come with trying to force results before their time. Trusting the process. Patience is about trusting the process. It's the faith that the work you're doing now, no matter how small it seems, is moving you closer to your goal. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But the key is to remember that every action you take, every step you make, is part of the journey. Trusting the process doesn't mean being passive. It means continuing to put in the work, even when you don't see the fruits of your labor. It's about understanding that all good things come in time. Success is the result of persistent effort, not a magical moment of instant transformation. The next time you feel frustrated with the slow progress toward your goal, remind yourself that success is built on consistent, patient work. Trust the process, even when it feels like you're not making any visible progress. Learning patience from nature sometimes. The best way to understand patience is to observe nature. Think about the growth of a tree. It doesn't grow overnight, and it doesn't rush its process. A tree spends years developing deep roots before it reaches for the sky. It withstands storms, adapts to changing seasons, and continues growing at its own pace, no matter what. We can learn a lot from this slow, deliberate growth. Trees don't worry about how fast they're growing. They just keep growing, knowing that in time, they'll reach their full potential. Similarly, you must trust that your efforts, no matter how slow they seem, are contributing to your growth and eventual success. Patience as a key to overcoming obstacles. Obstacles are a natural part of any journey. No matter what goal you're working toward, you will face challenges, some big, some small. Patience is what allows you to face these obstacles without giving up. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, you begin to view them as opportunities to grow. When you're patient, you give yourself the space to problem solve and adapt. You don't rush to fix things immediately, but rather, you allow yourself the time to think critically and respond thoughtfully. This approach allows you to stay calm under pressure and maintain focus, even when things aren't going as planned. The most successful people are often those who have learned to embrace obstacles and remain patient in the face of adversity. They understand that obstacles are temporary, and by staying the course, they will eventually overcome them. The reward of patience. The reward of patience is the ability to enjoy the fruits of your labor in a meaningful and fulfilling way. When you achieve a goal that you've worked toward over time, the satisfaction is far greater than if you had rushed the process. Patience also teaches you to appreciate the journey itself. Instead of focusing solely on the destination, you learn to enjoy the process and see value in every step you take. This sense of fulfillment makes the wait worthwhile. When you look back on your life or career, the moments that stand out will be those where you stuck with something, worked through the challenges, and allowed your efforts to come to fruition in their own time. Those moments of patience will feel like true achievements because you didn't give up, no matter how long it took. Call to action: take a moment to reflect on an area of your life where you're feeling impatient. Are you rushing a process or expecting instant results? How can you embrace patience and trust the journey, even when progress feels slow? Remember, patience isn't just about waiting. It's about having the discipline to stay committed, trust the process, and persist through obstacles. The results will come, but they require time, effort, and unwavering patience. Chapter 8. The discipline of focus. Focus is the ability to direct your attention to a single task, blocking out distractions, and remaining present in the moment. It's one of the most powerful disciplines you can cultivate, yet in our world of constant stimulation, it's also one of the most difficult. Whether you're working toward a personal goal, striving for career success, or simply trying to improve yourself, focus is the tool that can transform your efforts into real results. In this chapter, we'll dive into the discipline of focus, the art of keeping your mind sharp and concentrated, even in the face of distractions. Focus is the bridge between intention and achievement, and it's essential for anyone who wants to maximize their potential and get the most out of their time. The power of single-tasking in today's world. Multitasking is often seen as a desirable skill. We pride ourselves on being able to juggle multiple tasks at once. However, research shows that multitasking is a myth. The human brain doesn't actually perform multiple tasks simultaneously. Instead, it switches between tasks quickly, which results in lower efficiency and more mistakes. Focus, on the other hand, is the ability to zero in on one task and give it your undivided attention. Single tasking allows you to complete tasks with greater accuracy, efficiency, and depth. When you're focused, you're not just getting things done. You are doing them well. Think about the last time you were truly focused on something. Perhaps you were working on a project, writing, or practicing a skill. When you were focused, time seemed to slow down, and the task at hand became effortless. This is the power of focus. It allows you to immerse yourself in the present moment and achieve a level of productivity and satisfaction that multitasking simply can't offer. The cost of distractions. Every distraction takes away from your ability to focus. Whether it's your phone buzzing with notifications, a noisy environment, or even your own wandering thoughts, distractions pull you away from the task at hand and make it harder to achieve your goals. The problem is that we often don't realize how much time we lose to distractions. A quick check of social media here, a chat with a friend there. Before you know it, hours have slipped by and you've made little progress on what really matters. Each time you're distracted, it takes time to regain your focus. Studies show that it can take up to 20 minutes to fully refocus after a distraction. This means that every time you're pulled away from your task, you lose valuable time that could have been spent making progress. To develop the discipline of focus, you must learn to minimize distractions. Turn off your phone, close irrelevant tabs on your computer, and create an environment that supports deep work. By reducing distractions, you free up your mental energy to concentrate on what's important. The role of clarity in focus. Clarity is the foundation of focus. Without clear goals and a clear sense of purpose, it's easy to get distracted or feel unfocused. When you don't know exactly what you're working toward, it's hard to direct your energy in the right direction. Having a clear vision of your goals allows you to channel your focus effectively. It gives you something to strive toward and keeps you motivated when distractions arise. When you have clarity, you know what's important and what isn't, making it easier to stay focused on your objectives. To gain clarity, take time to define your goals and break them down into smaller, actionable tasks. This will give you a roadmap to follow, and each small victory along the way will keep you focused on your larger vision. When you know where you're headed, focus becomes a natural byproduct of your commitment to the journey. The discipline of saying no. One of the most powerful ways to improve your focus is to learn the discipline of saying no. We often say yes to things out of obligation, guilt, or a desire to please others. But every time we say yes to something that doesn't align with our goals, we're saying no to the things that truly matter. Saying no is an act of prioritization. It's a way of protecting your time and energy from distractions that can pull you away from your most important work. Saying no is not about being rude. It's about respecting your own time and your long-term vision. When you say no to unnecessary commitments, you create space for the things that truly deserve your attention. This might mean saying no to social events, work obligations, or even tasks that others expect you to do. By learning to say no, you free yourself to say yes to the things that align with your goals and help you move forward. The importance of rest and recovery focus is not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. One of the most effective ways to maintain focus over the long term is to prioritize rest and recovery. When you push yourself too hard without taking breaks, your brain becomes fatigued and your ability to focus diminishes. Taking regular breaks throughout the day helps your mind stay sharp and prevents burnout. It's important to schedule time for relaxation and mental recovery so that you can return to your work refreshed and able to focus more effectively. Whether it's a short walk, a meditation session, or a simple pause to reset, taking time to recharge is crucial for maintaining long-term focus. Remember, you're not a machine. Your mind and body need time to recover in order to perform at their best. By making rest a priority, you enhance your ability to focus when it counts most. Creating a focused environment, your environment plays a significant role in your ability to focus. If you're surrounded by clutter, noise, or distractions, it will be difficult to maintain your attention on the task at hand. To cultivate focus, you need to create an environment that supports deep work. Start by eliminating distractions from your workspace. Keep only the tools and materials you need to complete your task within reach, and remove anything that might pull your attention away. If you work from home, consider setting boundaries with family or roommates to ensure you have a quiet, focused space. Additionally, you can use environmental cues to signal to your brain that it's time to focus. For example, listening to instrumental music, using noise-canceling headphones, or setting specific times for focused work can help your mind switch into a state of concentration. The power of routine and habit focus is not something you can rely on spontaneously. It's a muscle that gets stronger with consistent practice. One of the best ways to develop and maintain focus is to build routines and habits that support it. By establishing a daily routine, you create a structure that helps you stay on track and reduces the decision fatigue that can lead to distraction. Your routine should include designated times for focused work, rest, and recovery. Over time, these routines become ingrained in your life, and maintaining focus becomes second nature. Incorporate habits that promote focus, such as setting daily goals, eliminating distractions before you begin work, and practicing mindfulness to improve your attention span. With time and practice, focus will become a habit that drives your success. The reward of focus is the ability to make significant progress towards your goals. When you can concentrate deeply on a task, you move faster, produce higher quality work, and experience greater satisfaction in your accomplishments. Focus also allows you to stay aligned with your long-term vision, avoiding the traps of procrastination and distraction that often derail progress. When you look back on your achievements, you'll realize that the things that mattered most were the result of focused, intentional effort. Focus brings clarity to your work, and clarity leads to success. Call to action. Think about the areas of your life where you're losing focus. Are there distractions or habits that are hindering your progress? How can you create a focused environment and develop routines that support your goals? Commit to increasing your focus, even if it's just in small increments. Start by setting aside specific times to focus on your most important tasks and eliminate distractions during those periods. The more you practice the discipline of focus, the sharper and more productive you'll become. Chapter 9. The discipline of consistency, the path to success, isn't built on a few great moments of brilliance. It's built on the quiet, consistent actions you take every single day. Whether you're working toward personal growth, improving your skills, or achieving your dreams, the key to lasting success lies in your ability to be consistent. In this chapter, we'll explore the discipline of consistency. The ability to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and keep putting in the work. Consistency is the engine that drives progress and turns small efforts into monumental achievements over time. The compound effect: imagine you take one small step every day toward your goal. You might not see immediate results, but over time those small steps compound into something much bigger. This is the compound effect in action, the principle that small, consistent actions add up to massive results. When you look at a successful person, what you're really seeing is the result of their consistent actions over time. They didn't achieve their success in one giant leap. They made small, deliberate steps every day, building momentum along the way. Think about the process of learning a new language. At first, you might only learn a few words a day, but if you continue to practice consistently, you'll find yourself speaking fluently over time. The key is to keep showing up, even when progress seems slow. The power of small habits. Consistency is not about doing big, heroic acts every day. It's about building small, sustainable habits that move you in the right direction. A small habit, when practiced consistently, is far more powerful than a big, sporadic effort. For example, if you're looking to improve your fitness, you don't have to spend hours in the gym every day. Start by committing to a short workout each day. Over time, that small effort will accumulate, and you'll see significant improvements in your health and strength. Small habits can be as simple as reading a few pages of a book each day, writing a paragraph every morning, or practicing a new skill for 10 minutes a day. The key is to make your habits easy to stick to and incorporate them into your daily routine. Staying committed through challenges. One of the toughest aspects of consistency is maintaining your commitment when things get difficult. There will be days when you feel tired, uninspired, or discouraged. On those days, consistency is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The key is to remember that progress is not always linear. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and moments when you feel like giving up. But consistency is about continuing to show up, even when you don't feel like it. In those challenging moments, remind yourself that every small action you take is moving you closer to your goal. It doesn't matter if the progress is slow. What matters is that you keep going. Success is built on persistence, and persistence is built on consistency. Consistency over perfection. Many people fall into the trap of trying to be perfect in everything they do. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect mindset before they take action. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. The only thing that matters is progress. When you focus on consistency, rather than perfection. You free yourself from the pressure to do everything flawlessly. Instead of waiting for the right moment, you simply take action every day, knowing that even imperfect progress is better than no progress at all. The most successful people don't get everything right. They simply keep going. They embrace mistakes as part of the learning process and use each experience to improve. Consistency, not perfection, is the key to sustained success. Building momentum, consistency creates momentum. When you show up day after day, your efforts begin to build on each other. Each small action you take generates energy, and over time, that energy propels you forward. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and doesn't seem to have much power. But as it continues to roll, it gains speed and mass, becoming unstoppable. This is what happens when you stay consistent. The more you show up, the more momentum you build, and eventually, you'll find that your efforts are carrying you to places you once thought were out of reach. Building momentum is a powerful motivator, because once you start seeing results, it becomes easier to keep going. Your small daily efforts turn into a cycle of growth and achievement. The role of patience in consistency requires patience. It's easy to feel discouraged when you don't see immediate results. But remember that progress takes time. Just like a seed needs time to grow into a tree, your efforts need time to develop into success. The key is to trust the process. You may not see dramatic changes in the early stages, but that doesn't mean you're not making progress. Every small action you take is contributing to your growth, even if it's not immediately apparent. Be patient with yourself and resist the urge to rush the process. The rewards of consistency come with time, and the more patient you are, the more you'll appreciate the results when they arrive. Consistency builds confidence. When you commit to consistency, you build confidence in yourself and your abilities. Every time you show up and take action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals. This builds a sense of trust in your ability to follow through, which increases your confidence. The more consistent you are, the more you'll believe in your own potential. You'll start to see yourself as someone who can be relied upon to take action, even when things get tough. Confidence grows when you see the impact of your efforts over time. The importance of accountability, staying consistent, can be challenging, especially when you're working toward long-term goals. That's where accountability comes in. Having someone to check in with, or a system in place to track your progress, can help you stay committed to your daily actions. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a progress tracker, accountability keeps you on track and ensures that you're staying consistent. It's a reminder that you're not in this journey alone, and that you have someone or something to help keep you accountable. The reward of consistency is the transformation that takes place over time. The small actions you take each day compound into something far greater than the sum of their parts. With consistency, you'll reach milestones you once thought were impossible. Success won't feel like a distant dream, but a reality that you've created through your own efforts. When you look back on the progress you've made, you'll realize that consistency was the key that unlocked your success. Every small effort, no matter how insignificant it seemed at the time, played a role in getting you to where you are today. Call to action: take a moment to reflect on your current habits. Are you being consistent in the areas that matter most to you? If not, what small actions can you take today to start building the discipline of consistency? Remember, consistency doesn't require perfection. It just requires commitment. By showing up every day, no matter how small the effort, you'll make progress toward your goals. and unlock the rewards of your hard work. The discipline of patience is often seen as a passive virtue, something we simply wait for or practice when we're forced to. But patience is not a passive quality. It's a powerful discipline. The ability to remain calm, focused, and committed during times of uncertainty or slow progress is what differentiates those who achieve lasting success from those who give up too soon. In this chapter, we'll dive into the discipline of patience, how it plays a crucial role in achieving your goals, how to cultivate it, and why it is just as important as any other form of discipline. The role of patience in long-term success. Success rarely happens overnight. In fact, it's the consistent, steady work over time that leads to meaningful achievement. Patience is required to endure the months or even years of work that are often necessary before you see results. Think about some of the most successful people in history. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. He didn't invent the light bulb on his first try. It took hundreds, even thousands of experiments before he succeeded. He needed patience not just to deal with failures, but to stick with his vision despite the setbacks. Patience in your journey doesn't mean simply sitting back and waiting. It means staying committed to your process, even when things seem to be moving slowly. Patience lets you trust the work you're putting in, knowing that all of it is leading you towards something bigger. Why patience is hard in today's world. Everything is immediate. We have fast food, instant messaging, and almost everything is delivered to our doorsteps in a matter of days, if not hours. This constant rush toward instant gratification has conditioned us to expect quick results in all aspects of our lives. This cultural shift has made patience harder to cultivate. We are no longer accustomed to waiting for things to unfold. As a result, when we don't see immediate progress, or when success doesn't come right away, we often get frustrated and give up too soon. But true success isn't about instant results. It's about enduring through the difficult moments, remaining steady through the challenges, and trusting that progress will come in time. This shift in mindset is what allows you to cultivate patience and continue forward, even when the results are not immediate. Patience in the process, the journey, is often just as important as the destination. When you're working toward a goal, it's easy to focus solely on the outcome. You want to reach the finish line, get the reward, and feel the sense of accomplishment. But the process, the daily grind, the small actions, the setbacks, is what shapes you. In fact, the discipline of patience is not just about waiting for results. It's about fully embracing the process and enjoying the growth that happens along the way. It allows you to appreciate each small step, each new skill you develop, and each obstacle you overcome. Without patience, you might rush through the journey, missing the valuable lessons that come with each stage. Consider an athlete training for a marathon. The end goal is to cross the finish line, but it's the months of training, the long runs, and the painful moments of doubt that build the strength, discipline, and resilience required to succeed. Patience allows the athlete to focus on the journey and trust the process, even when they feel like progress is slow. Turning frustration into focus. When you're working toward a long-term goal, it's easy to become frustrated if progress feels too slow. That frustration can lead to feelings of impatience, which in turn can lead to burnout or discouragement. But patience is about transforming that frustration into focus. Instead of focusing on how long it's taking or how far you still have to go, patience allows you to focus on the next step. It keeps you grounded in the present moment, which is the only moment you have control over. When you're patient, you stop worrying about the destination and instead focus on the actions that will get you there. Every time you feel frustration building, take a moment to redirect your energy. Ask yourself, what's the next thing I can do to move forward? This shift in mindset helps you stay focused and productive, even during the difficult times. Patience and self-discipline, patience, isn't just about waiting. It's about being patient with yourself. When you set goals and start working toward them, there will be times when you fall short. There will be days when you don't make as much progress as you wanted, or when life throws obstacles your way. The discipline of patience involves being kind to yourself in those moments. It means accepting that setbacks are a natural part of the process and that progress is rarely linear. Every mistake or failure is an opportunity to learn and grow, not a reason to give up. Being patient with yourself also means practicing self-discipline. When you don't see immediate results, it's tempting to slack off or abandon your goals altogether. But the discipline of patience keeps you on track, knowing that small steps taken consistently will lead to big results over time. Learning from the waiting period in our culture of instant gratification. The idea of waiting can be uncomfortable. We feel like we're wasting time, like we're not making progress, or like we should be doing more. But waiting is not wasted time. It's a time for growth, reflection, and preparation. During periods of waiting, you have the opportunity to refine your skills, improve your mindset, and build the resilience necessary for the challenges ahead. Waiting is often when your most important internal growth happens, even though it may not be immediately visible. Think of a pot of soup simmering on the stove. At first, it may seem like nothing is happening, but over time, the flavors blend and the soup becomes rich and delicious. The waiting period is what transforms the ingredients into something greater. In the same way, your patience during periods of slow progress is what transforms your efforts into lasting success. The reward of patience may feel like a slow and steady process, but the rewards are great. When you remain patient, you give yourself the space to grow and mature. You avoid the pitfalls of rushing, burning out, or settling for less than you're capable of. Patience leads to deep, lasting success because it allows you to fully develop your potential. The reward of patience is not just the achievement of your goal. It's the transformation you undergo along the way. You become more resilient, more disciplined, and more capable of handling future challenges. The success you experience will be built on the foundation of your patience and the perseverance you demonstrated through the journey. Call to action. Take a moment to reflect on the areas of your life where you may be struggling with impatience. Are there goals you've been rushing toward, or challenges that have made you feel frustrated? How can you begin to embrace patience in your journey? Remember that true success is about consistency, perseverance, and trusting the process. The more patient you are, the more you'll be able to enjoy the journey and appreciate the growth that comes with it. Stay committed, trust yourself, and remember that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your ultimate goal. Chapter 11. The discipline of resilience life has a way of testing our resolve. No matter how hard we try to stay on the right path, there will always be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from those difficult times, to face challenges head-on, and to keep moving forward when everything seems against you. It's not about avoiding adversity. It's about facing it with the strength and determination to rise above it. What is resilience? Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It's the mental toughness that allows you to adapt in the face of adversity, trauma, or significant stress. When life knocks you down, resilience gives you the strength to get back up and continue the fight. But resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It's about growing through it. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. It's through hardship that we develop the tools we need to thrive. Without adversity, we wouldn't develop the skills and the mindset necessary to achieve lasting success. The power of a resilient mindset, the foundation of resilience, is a mindset that refuses to. A resilient person doesn't let setbacks define them. They view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. They embrace failure not as defeat, but as a stepping stone on the path to success. A resilient mindset is rooted in optimism. It's the belief that no matter what happens, you can handle it. It's the unwavering confidence that you have the inner strength to overcome whatever comes your way. This mindset doesn't just help you survive difficulties. It helps you thrive in them. Resilience is built on the understanding that setbacks are temporary. It's not about avoiding tough times, but about trusting that you'll get through them stronger and wiser. With resilience, you learn to see challenges as part of the process, not the end of the road. Building emotional resilience is often thought of as a mental trait, but it's deeply connected to our emotions. When we face adversity, it's natural to feel fear, anger, or frustration. Building emotional resilience involves learning how to cope with difficult emotions in healthy ways. Instead of letting negative emotions dictate your behavior, you learn to process them and move forward. This might involve taking a step back to breathe, practicing mindfulness, or simply acknowledging your feelings and giving yourself permission to feel them without being consumed by them. The goal is not to suppress your emotions, but to understand them and use them to fuel your growth rather than hinder it. Emotional resilience allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease and grace. Resilience and perseverance. One of the key aspects of resilience is perseverance, the ability to keep going, even when the going gets tough. Resilient people don't give up when they encounter obstacles. They understand that success doesn't come without challenges, and they embrace those challenges as part of the journey. Perseverance is about pushing forward, even when it feels like progress is slow. It's about taking one step at a time, even when the finish line seems far away. The key to perseverance is having a clear vision of your goal and a deep sense of purpose that keeps you moving forward, no matter the obstacles in your way. It's easy to give up when things get hard, but resilient people don't quit. They keep pushing through the tough times, knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, brings them closer to their ultimate goal. The role of self-belief in resilience, belief in yourself, is at the heart of resilience. If you don't believe you can overcome adversity, it becomes much harder to stay resilient in the face of challenges. Resilient people have an unwavering belief that no matter what happens, they will find a way through. This self-belief is not about arrogance or denial of difficulties. It's about knowing that you have the inner strength, skills, and resources to handle whatever comes your way. Self-belief gives you the courage to take action, even when the outcome is uncertain. It gives you the strength to continue moving forward, even when fear or doubt creeps in. When you believe in yourself, you develop the mental toughness needed to face challenges head-on. It's this belief that fuels your resilience, helping you push through even the most difficult situations. Resilience in the face of failure is an inevitable part of life, and it's an essential part of building resilience. Resilient people don't view failure as something to be feared. They view it as a natural part of the journey towards success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary step in the process. The key to resilience is not avoiding failure, but learning from it. Every failure provides valuable lessons that can help you improve and grow. Instead of dwelling on mistakes or letting them define you, resilient people bounce back quickly and use failure as fuel to keep going. Remember that failure is not permanent. It's just a temporary setback, and it's only when you stop trying that failure becomes final. Resilience is about bouncing back from failure and continuing to move forward with the same level of determination as before. Building resilience through action resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you can build through consistent action. The more you challenge yourself, the more you'll develop the mental toughness to handle adversity. Every time you push through a difficult situation, you become more resilient. Start by setting goals that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. Face challenges head-on, even if they scare you. The more you put yourself in situations that require resilience, the stronger you'll become. When life gets tough, take action instead of retreating. Break down the challenge into smaller, more manageable steps, and focus on moving forward one step at a time. Each action you take, no matter how small, builds your resilience and helps you become stronger for the next challenge. The reward of resilience. The reward of resilience is not just the achievement of your goals. It's the person you become along the way. As you face and overcome adversity, you develop strength, wisdom, and confidence that you can carry with you into all areas of your life. Resilience gives you the ability to handle whatever life throws your way. It builds your mental and emotional strength, helping you become more adaptable, more persistent, and more capable of handling future challenges. With resilience, you can face any obstacle and come out stronger on the other side. A call to action. Take a moment to think about your life's challenges. What obstacles have you faced that tested your resilience? How can you approach future challenges with a mindset of perseverance and growth? Remember, resilience is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about facing them head-on and using them to fuel your growth. Every setback is an opportunity to become stronger, and every failure is a chance to learn and improve. Embrace the discipline of resilience, and you'll find that you can overcome anything life throws your way. Chapter 12. The discipline of consistency. Consistency is often the secret weapon behind any major achievement. Whether it's in your career, fitness goals, personal development, or any other area of life, success is rarely the result of a single grand effort. Instead, it's the result of small, consistent actions taken day in and day out over time. What is consistency? Consistency is the ability to maintain a steady effort toward a goal, regardless of the obstacles, distractions, or temptations that may come your way. It's about committing to the process, showing up every day, and taking deliberate actions that move you closer to your objective. Unlike bursts of intense effort that quickly fade away, consistency is about pacing yourself for the long haul. It's about understanding that lasting success is built upon a foundation of routine, discipline, and perseverance. The key to consistency is finding a rhythm that works for you, one that allows you to make steady progress without burning out. It's about doing the necessary work day in, day out, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, and even when the results are not immediately visible. Why consistency is crucial for success. Many people fail to reach their goals, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they give up too soon. The initial excitement and motivation can carry you through the first few weeks or months. But what keeps you going when the novelty fades or when things get tough? That's where consistency comes in. It's the commitment to show up every day, even when the process feels mundane or the results are slow. Consistency ensures that you continue making progress, regardless of how small each step might feel. It's easy to be excited and motivated at the start of a new project or goal. But the true test of success comes in how you respond when the initial excitement fades. Do you have the discipline to keep going day after day, even when the outcome feels far away? That's what consistency is all about. The compound effect of consistency. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is its compound effect. While individual actions may seem small and insignificant in the moment, over time, those small efforts add up to something much larger. Think of a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, barely noticeable, but as it picks up speed, it gathers more snow, becoming bigger and more powerful with each turn. Consistency is like that snowball. It may seem slow and incremental at first, but over time, your efforts build momentum and become unstoppable. The compound effect of consistency means that even if you're only taking small steps toward your goal, those steps will add up. It's not about making huge leaps all at once. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that, over time, the results will follow. Consistency over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. One day you may feel fired up and ready to conquer the world, and the next, you may feel tired, uninspired or distracted. Motivation is powerful, but it's not always reliable. It comes and goes, depending on your mood, circumstances, and external factors. That's why consistency is more important than motivation. While motivation can help you start something, it's consistency that will help you finish it. When motivation fades, consistency keeps you going. It's the habit of doing the necessary work, whether you feel like it or not, that leads to lasting success. Think of your goals as a marathon, not a sprint. In a sprint, you rely on bursts of energy and motivation. But in a marathon, you need steady pacing and consistency to reach the finish line. It's the consistency of each step, no matter how small, that brings you closer to the finish line. Creating consistency in your routine, the foundation of consistency, is a solid routine. When you create habits that support your goals, you don't have to rely on motivation to get things done. Your routine becomes the structure that carries you through the days when motivation is lacking. Start by identifying the small actions that will bring you closer to your goal. Whether it's writing for 30 minutes a day, exercising for 20 minutes each morning, or reading for an hour each night, These small habits will add up over time. Commit to doing them every day, even on the days when you don't feel like. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up consistently, day after day, regardless of how you feel. The more you do something, the more it becomes a habit, and the less effort it takes to keep going. Overcoming challenges to consistency. One of the biggest obstacles to consistency is the inevitable challenges and setbacks that will arise along the way. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when things don't go as planned. You might face unexpected obstacles, distractions, or simply have days when you don't feel like working toward your goal. During these times, it's essential to stay committed to your routine. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, view them as temporary bumps in the road. Don't let a single bad day derail your progress. Acknowledge the challenge, adjust if necessary, and get back on track the next day. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about getting back up after each setback and continuing forward. Even if you miss a day or two, the key is to keep going. One slip-up doesn't erase all the progress you've made. Remember that it's the long-term effort that matters, not the occasional misstep. The power of small wins. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to focus on the small wins. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how small, is an accomplishment. These small wins build momentum and boost your confidence, reinforcing your commitment to your goal. Celebrate the small victories along the way, whether it's sticking to your routine for a week or hitting a milestone in your progress. Take time to acknowledge your achievements. These small wins provide the motivation to keep going, even when the end goal feels far off. The power of small wins is that they remind you that progress is happening. Even if you don't see immediate dramatic results, each small step is bringing you closer to your ultimate goal. Consistency in long-term success. Ultimately, consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. It's not the bursts of effort, the moments of intense motivation, or the grandiose plans that lead to success. It's the steady, consistent work over time. The most successful people in the world didn't achieve greatness overnight. They stayed committed to their routines, focused on the small steps, and kept showing up every day. Over time, their consistent efforts built the foundation for their success. When you make consistency a part of your daily routine, you're not just working toward your goals. You're building the mindset and habits that will ensure your long-term success. Take a moment to reflect on your own routines. Are there areas of your life where you're struggling with consistency? What small actions can you start doing every day to move closer to your goals? Remember that success is not about one big effort. It's about the consistent, small steps you take each day. Stay committed to your routine, trust the process, and know that over time, your efforts will pay off.